I didn't realize all. Yeah, I can go like. It's basic sometimes. Oh, yeah, but like.
Just go.
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
Didn't have any. Added on. Anyway. The license. Yeah.
Only. That's good. You got us. I do.
No.
No way.
It's like I So you're good. You see my case study? And escape.
Or you just get my email. The other people take it.
It is old.
No, I didn't say.
I heard it. I have no hearing.
Okay. You know, all the. Yeah. You know, I haven't like, I have somebody working. That was the only piece, that was the piece that was. Correct. Yeah. But anyway. This one's kind of close. The other one. Yeah. For the, we have. They thought they were gonna. But, you know, so it was like, it was remote, it was an. But so I proposed fiction. Partially. No, they're not on it. Okay, so you said you could do whatever. Unaccepted invitations. So if I can get it together, maybe I can take that one.
Okay. Is everybody possible? Like I'm on the Middle East. America.
Oh, what?
Yes. Yeah, that's it.
Pizza? Pizza? Very picky. Okay, so you've heard me say lots of times, I'm the numbers guy. So we're talking about numbers tonight. But they all tie together. Part of the thing, your biggest thing is guessing how much your sales are. Well, how much it's going to cost to get those things? It's all numbers. But we're gonna start with the easy part. Let's work 5 seconds ago. Well. Whoa, there we go. There we go. Easy. How much money you need before you can even start? Okay, well, what do you think? $1? So you're gonna need $2? I know. $6. Okay, we've gone from $1 to $6. I thought it was part of the class.
Down. It depends on what you're doing.
Exactly. So what are you doing? How can, look, you don't have, I don't think, I'm not gonna look at it, I don't think anybody in this room has $1 million land that has no use for it, right? Somebody may just, your reclusive billionaires want to just hang out here. You got this 50 room, but it's all about how much money you're gonna need versus what you have. Right? Everything you have to get from somebody, you're going to have to give up for. Either borrow it, give them equity. So what's the minimum you can start with? What's common startup cost? Somebody tell me.
100,000. 100,000.
Well, give me a category. Okay. Yeah, you're going to need to rent a space. Or are you doing this out of, this is out of your garage? Your mother's basement. But we don't have basements around here, so that'd be hard. What else?
Energy. Unless you're doing like web platforms, so there's servers,
Well,
domains.
you're doing an app. How much is it gonna cost to build the app? Yeah, whoever can make the app. We're- really need to get Skylar in here to talk about the apps. Because, yeah, you can spend $100,000 on an app. That. Or you can get somebody who knows how to work the system, who has access to people in India, the old Eastern European states, where they will work a lot cheaper, and they're very good at what they do. Serbia, right? Got people who work a lot less in Serbia. Yeah. But the Ukraine might be a little iffy. You know, but so you've got to come up with what these common startup costs are. And one startup cost would be buying a new clicker that's working Connecticut. Now here's just an example. Let's see, they got salaries, insurance, inventory, legal and accounting, rent, utility, supplies, advertising. You can only steal so many supplies from your current employer, okay? Just go there. They'll notice after a while. Other. What? Now, somebody come up with something really weird that you might actually end up with as an expense. It just popped into your head. Huh? 3D printer. Work from home expense. Well, you're living there anyways. I mean, other than maybe you're boosting up your internet. Yeah, you really got to sit down and think of all the different parts, because people love it. If you go to them and say, look, we're going to need, probably says $100,000, and you can actually do everything you want for $100,000, you look pretty smart. But if you go to somebody and say, we need 100,000, they give you 100,000, you go back, I need another 20. Then that's when they start putting the screws together. And I got to really watch these people. They're not real sure what they're doing. So, let's see. Equipment. She wants a 3D printer. I'm not sure what they're doing, but is anybody making a product? I don't think so. You're freezing people to death. What? You make it? Sunscreen, there you go. Okay. We don't have to do a lot of testing of the product.
Well, people we buy it from.
Well, are they going to charge you for that testing? Yeah. Yeah, well, remember when we went to U-Bar? In the beginning of U-Bar, they used to do all that product development for free. And all of a sudden they figured out, oh, wait, we can charge people for this to make money. So now it costs $7,500 to $10,000. What's it going to cost? What's it going to cost you to get your artwork printed on the bottles? What's it going to take for the first run of bottles? The shipping boxes. And on and on and on. Yeah. Now, you got to sit down and go through all the steps before you can even sell one thing. What's it going to cost you? And it gets to be a long list. It starts to go, oh my God, this is never going to work. But it's for every company does the same thing. Okay. There. Nope. Anybody hiring people? No, nobody hiring? You're hiring people. Well, there's a whole bunch of costs. Well, interesting fact about hiring people. I'm working with a company, their main office is in Virginia, we've opened an office in California. The HR manual in Virginia is 12 pages long. The HR manual in California is 62 pages long. Because of all the extra laws in California. So, hey, very excited. How long are you, how much are you gonna be open? I guess most of you are virtual, so no, but you're gonna be dragging a chamber. You're gonna need a truck. This trailer. You're the trailer? No, you're the driver, okay, so you're the driver, so free labor. But you're gonna need insurance on the truck and the trailer. The tank.
That's not an actual.
Oh, nitrogen tank. Okay. Yeah, how much is all that gonna cost you? Okay. 100,000?
200.
Okay, so. The first question so in your business plan, you can't say this is gonna cost us 200, right?
It's going off of, I think the current finger is about 40 on average. Nitrogen tank. It's not that expensive, it's 5 to 500, something like that. Well, plus a trailer.
Right. You gotta start putting, you gotta come up with this list, right? Because yours sounds like the most expensive of the group. Because you actually have a truck and trailer and liquid nitrogen and. Are any of you planning to pay yourselves, or you're all working for free? Free.
For the first couple of years.
Did you afford to work free for the first couple of years? Well, it's important to know. I mean, when we used to invest in companies, we would look at making sure what we call people had grocery money. So we're not going to pay the person. Yeah, you know, yours is a grocery idea too, but we're not going to pay the people $10,000 a month to run it. But this was a few years ago, we pay them $3,500 a month. So they can pay rent and buy food. Beyond that, we're not supporting a lifestyle. We're not investing in their job, we're investing in their company. And they had to make it successful to work. Now we already talked about employees. What other employees you need? Are you the technician too?
No, probably hire part-time.
Somebody to hold them down and put them in the tank?
Set it up.
How cold is this thing? I know I'm chasing a squirrel here, but
I think it goes down to set it up, and most of you're probably going to be 40 to 50 range.
40, 50 below zero?
No, you're not going to freeze yourself to death.
Oh, so it's just 40 degrees.
Well, it gets lower, but like for the body to recover, you don't want to go too low. So it's probably, I think it's 30 is.
Okay.
Fancy ice pack. Yeah.
Okay, so this is, if we're hiring employees, most of you aren't. Have any of you ever thought of how much it costs to have an employee? It's expensive. You know, you got Social Security, the company share, Medicare, unemployment, federal, unemployment state. You're not going to have a pension plan. You're going to have workers' comp. In the beginning, you'll just get that through your payroll service. You'll probably do payroll through ADP or Paychecks, and they'll do workers' comp for you. Health insurance, they're not getting it. Don't get sick. What's your health insurance? I'm just saying the way it is. In small business, startups, you don't have money to give people health insurance. But no one's really worried about salaries and wages, but the guideline for the most part for employees is a 20% burden. So if you're paying somebody, just going to use simple numbers, you're paying somebody $50,000 a year, it's going to cost you $60,000 to have them. That's low. Once you add health insurance, it goes up. So what's your monthly bills? I don't know. The material for her 3D printer. Yeah. They're all pretty small, but all of a sudden we're up to 5,000 a month. Probably one of your biggest, ooh, it's got a laser, is advertising, marketing, right? You're trying to get customers. How much is it going to cost you to get a customer? Anybody have any idea? I don't know, don't look at me. I mean, granted, it's different for every company. I mean, you're going to be, your business is localized. Go to Newport Beach, they got lots of money, okay? My daughter works in a wellness clinic. I was telling Dr. Martin this earlier. They do 60, 70 patients a day where they come in there and get infusions and shots and all sorts of pokey stuff. My house looks like a drug den. There's syringes laying all over, bottles of. My daughter's going, well, I should give you a shot of this. I'm like, no, you shouldn't. I trust you, but stay away from me with needles, okay? So yours is going to be, okay, how do we advertise, let's just say Newport? How do we get to these people? It's a different thing than you're doing a book thing online, right? Completely different from how you're going to get customers. And you guys are sunscreen, so you're going to have to figure out how you get into the stores. That can be expensive. A friend of mine worked at Rouse like most of his career. He told me once, very telling, and this was true when I actually did a retail product. They don't sell stuff in stores. They rent shelf space. So if you want to get in a store, they have things called, I just blanked. They're not, I guess we'll just call them stocking fees. Stocking fees, they have a really fancy name. So it's like, you want to be in the store? This is how much you have to pay us to put your product in our store. Until they determine that you're actually selling enough to make them enough money, pay for the rent for the square foot or two you have on their space on their shelves. It's all of these different things that you got to know about. Oh, so yours is all online, right? Bank and merchant fees. Oh my God. If you're all online, you're going to be taking credit cards, right? You're going to get your bank statement at the end of the month and go, holy crap, we just gave these guys $500. That's a good thing. You're doing a lot of business. It's like, what's happening here? That's always miscellaneous. There's always something. Throw miscellaneous in there. Permits and fees. And how you're going to get business licenses until they make you. Just telling you the truth, right? I know I'm not supposed to say these things, but it's true. I will tell you, if you're in the city of LA, they're really good about tracking people down. Long Beach, not so good. I've run a dozen businesses out of Long Beach for the last 10 years and never asked for a license. Oh, yeah. I'll swear we're not doing anything, okay? It's a startup. You're going to cut costs where you can. You're going to have to spend money certain places. If you don't have to spend it, don't spend it. Postage and delivery. Yeah, no one sends anything through the mail. Most of you aren't gonna rent property, or you're gonna probably have to, well, you can use a garage for your initial shipment. You know? Till the parents get mad and say, I want to put my car in the garage, when are you gonna get out of here? You know? Telephones, or you're just gonna use your cell phones. What's not on here is, well, you're gonna have to get it, probably an email address for the company, right? You have to give GoDaddy or one of those places money. Set up your domain. Okay, $1 million question. How much are you gonna sell each month? Yes.
Willing to pay us the customer,
Huh?
you're talking about how much you're gonna pay for it. a unit
No.
or
How many units are you gonna sell each month?
lots?
A lot, yeah.
Gonna calculate what you know how many you sell if you don't have,
Well,
think all your expenses.
yeah. How are you gonna get the first customer? What's it gonna take to get the first customer?
It's gonna be
Okay, yeah, okay. Besides your family, what's it gonna take to get a real first customer?
Advertise them, you gotta go out there.
Yeah, you gotta sell it. How are you gonna sell it? What's it gonna cost you to talk to
Probably
people?
give it up.
Give it away for free? It's a well-timed tested drug dealer tactic. Try. It must work. I've heard. No. But. How many are you gonna sell? And you're right. It would be nice to know what your break even is. So you know how many you have to get to break even, because that's the happiest day. That's literally the happiest day in a startup's life. And you don't have to put money into it anymore. The second happiest day is when you actually get paid. But. Okay, what are we selling here? Blocks of gold. I probably should have looked at this. $1,500 per unit. We're going to sell it for our variable cost of $600. No. Is yours a freemium model?
It is a free.
I don't know how you make money. I'm being serious. I've never understood how these people make money. It's like Waze. I don't know if any of you use Waze or you use your. I love Waze. I gladly pay them because when I need it, I need it. But it's based on advertising. But you're not supposed to be looking at your phone when you're driving to watch their ads. And so every now and then they'll say, I'll be at a light or something. I'll look over and say, have you seen an ad for this? I just hit no, because it's like, how do they make money? Premium, how do you make money? I know Candy Crush, how does it make money? I know there's millions of people using it. I gave them 49 cents once. And I was disgusted with myself. That's like, what am I doing? This is so sad. But yeah, that's how they make money, right? I don't know. How are you guys? What are you selling for? How many customers? How many people do you need using your premium service to break even? That's what you need to figure out. You got 2.5 weeks. We can do it. How many customers you need? A lot. There you go. But people are going to want to know what it's going to take for you to get to break even, because they want to know how much money they're going to put in. And they want to see how reasonable your projections are. Right back road thinks they're in church. They're holding you down. Fran, don't like me. You also got to be very careful. This, so they have 8 point. Wait, no, that's just spread around 8% a month So completely even. Do most products have seasonality? I mean, maybe not food. Why don't you get a customer? Produce. Maybe the holidays goes up a little bit. Avocados, you're gonna be buying a lot for the next one off here. They have all the avocado business. Yeah, okay, you have the hookup, okay. But you have to think about it. Don't just do this. And say, we're gonna sell the same amount every month. Without a reason behind it. Because when you give something like this to an investor, they're not looking for reasons to invest. For the most part. They're going to try to find things to tell them why not to invest. You don't want to give them an excuse. They're talking to you because they want to invest, but now they're going to look at it with an eye towards, okay, what don't I like about this? Because they got lots of stuff to invest in. That's it. So make sure your year goes, so sunscreen. Okay, I was talking over here about what market you're going to go for first. I don't know. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go first? Children. Their parents. Their parents. But are you going to? We were talking about so that the addressable market in the world is 10 billion in sales. But you can't do that. The addressable market in the United States is probably 1 billion. Okay. You really can't do that. So if you're going to go after Southern California, Texas Gulf Coast,
Maybe like the code,
right?
area.
Yeah. Well, which one? Remember, you got limited money. Yeah, you're here. Really, because that makes you look smart. Because we're going to get established where we are. Then we'll move somewhere else. I had a company that failed because the owners wanted to do the whole country at once. Didn't have the money. Well, it failed. So, but even in California, when are you going to sell sunscreen? May, June, July, August, September. Yeah, so 6 months.
So you need it every day.
You can, but your sales are going to go down. Because unless, you know, they're really anal, they're going to, it's not hot. Yeah. I just, of course, I'm a guy, so I would never put it on anyways, which is why I'm covered in skin cancer, but you know, that makes a difference. Whereas Florida, probably more of a year-round bigger market. But I agree with you, it's better to start here where you are. You can go visit the retailers. The key is to have a reason behind any number you come up with. What makes investors very comfortable is if you can answer their questions. They come up with a question, you have an answer. Don't make up an answer. They can smell that a mile away. Come up with a real answer. So if your sales are going to be seasonal, I don't know how apps sell. Who here has an app that their business is wrapped around an app? Okay, you guys need to look up a company, preapps.com, preapps.com. Everything you need to know is there. It's run by a friend of mine, so can't get something, let me know. I'll have you talk to the guy that founded the company. So profit and loss statements. Yeah, we know that. Well, so with the app, the cost of goods is basically your marketing cost, right?
You know, so it's not product. That's all.
Okay, so you'd have two, sort of.
Yeah, it's part of the the freemium model, the premium portion of that
Okay.
is a service or is a product.
How much you're charging to freeze me?
And we packages per session per hour. But per session, so we cover 4 minutes.
Okay, so there's already arguments, you know. How much does it cost to do this in an office?
You know,
Yeah,
like if you go to.
if I go to someplace to get frozen.
6.
Okay.
Additional cost.
So here's my thought, you're not charging enough. Is the convenience of going to my house only worth $15?
There's additional costs of.
Deal.
Building some numbers, and if it's in Long Beach. Might be like 75, 80, but if it's San Diego. 120. It's a. Very costly, it's a gold star.
Okay, so here's the thought, you're gonna do it for free to start, with, right?
That's the first one.
That's the theory, okay? You have to still factor in what somebody would get paid for doing what you've done. You want to price it with the full cost in there. You may not spend it because you don't have the money. But you gotta go, okay. If you have to go set it up, get the person in there, get them out, drive back. Hour and a half.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that gonna cost you for an hour and a half of just the time? That's, I know it's. And maybe at least, even if you put it in as a loss leader to start with, we're gonna get people for $75. You gotta know what the real cost is. Not saying you don't, but. Just use an example for the moment. Okay, yeah.
So in that case, too, we're doing a product. Opposite of that. Like a balance sheet, you like to sell the bikes.
Now that's a marketing expense. But you have to apply. You have to apply a cost to that. How much did it cost for you to make that product? You're still spending the money. It's just not cost of goods sold anymore. You're moving it over what you're using it for. You don't expense it at retail. You expense it at what you pay for it. Scott, any questions?
What are you including in cost picture? SG&A?
No. SG&A is SG&A. Cost of goods sold is direct cost of the product you're selling.
Just the manufacturer.
Talk about expenses, taxes. Oh my God, hopefully one day you'll have to pay taxes. I'm really cold when somebody tells me, oh man, I had to write a huge check for taxes. So that just means you made a lot of money. I hope you all have to write 7-figure checks for taxes one day. Okay? You have to pay a tax bill of $1 million for 1 year's worth of income. Be great. You could sponsor the Apostle Incubator. Yeah, you can have your name on it. We could the Nathan Incubator. Captain Shenanigans Incubator. I'm not sure that's going to work. Wait, go back to sleep. And net profit. Yes.
Different taxes too, you can do taxes where you're operating or hourly tax. Like where we do.
Taxes are based on where you for your sales. So setting up a corporation in Nevada does you no good. Unless you're operating in Nevada. You don't get tax-free status because you're in Nevada. If your operations are all in California, you're gonna get taxed in California. Trust me, California is brutal. Oh yeah, we have good weather, okay. Other hints, do not screw around on your sales tax, especially in California. They are the meanest, nastiest human beings on the face of the planet. They really are. Yeah, the Board of Equalization or California Department of Tax and Fee Administration. I've talked to those people before. I said, "You guys are really mean." He goes, "Yes, we are." Geez, I thought you'd at least try to defend yourself. They're the worst. State of California is the second worst. The IRS, oh, they're easy. They are the nicest people. Because here's why. The IRS, they pretty much assume you're not moving out of the country. You might, they got their eye on you, but they're gonna get you eventually. The state, oh, brutal. So yes, taxes, you're taxed on where you have your sales. So technically, if you're doing sales all over the country, theoretically, you have to collect taxes on any sale in every tax jurisdiction in the entire country. Really? They have programs, or you can hire Jenny in my office, who's doing it for another company right now. She files 43 separate sales tax returns. 43 different states.
Now, how did that change?
When it comes what? Oh, globally, I don't know, quite honestly. Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent, when you get caught. Yeah, they all have taxes, but yeah, how does Nigeria gonna know you sold something on the internet and they didn't put their share of taxes? Yeah. But that's the key, with Amazon now, whatever you sell through Amazon, they have it built in that you're gonna charge tax to whatever jurisdiction you're shipping to. Because they were big enough to go after. You're not big enough to go after. Again, hopefully one day you'll be big enough to go after. It'll make a difference. Oh my God, look at that, we're making money. Obviously, this started long before 2002 because you never make money your first year. Because I've never known anybody make money their first year. The accounting is not hard. I would recommend you just get QuickBooks and keep track. And here's why. It gives you a detailed look at what's happening with your business. You need to know what's happening with your business. I would ask, well, who keeps a checkbook? None of you. So, anybody keep a checkbook? Oh, a couple of you, okay. QuickBooks is just a checkbook with a typewriter attached to it. That's all it is. It's very easy to do. It'll give you reports. You need to know what's happening. You can't just turn your accounting over to somebody else. Especially if you're not going to pay any attention. I know several people that have basically almost lost businesses because their trusted accountant wasn't. All of a sudden, the accountant's leaving the country and their checks are bouncing. You gotta know, it's your money. Want somebody else being responsible for your money? Eventually you get big enough, but in the beginning, it's your money. So important topics, startup discussion. Did that. So this is for the write-up. Where do you break even? Return on invested capital. me, it's more, how are you gonna pay people back who give you money? Right? And Rick didn't bring it up when he was talking about it, but we used to call, you know, friends, family, and fools. That was the tranche of money. So you take money from your family for your business, and then you want to go on vacation. How's that going to work? Perfectly legitimate. You've been working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week for months, and you want to take a week off. They're going to go, wait a minute. Run the business. Or even worse, the business goes bad. How's Thanksgiving working for you? You got to think of these things before you take money from certain people. Who here has somebody in their family that has their own business? Perfect. Those are the perfect people to go to for investment, because they understand how it works. They've run their own business. They understand the risks. They'll probably be really good partners because they can give you ideas and suggestions. I'd be willing to take them. Financing, let's see. How much will it cost to go into business? Well, this is talking about how to write it up. Chart is better than a paragraph. Pictures. No. What's the difference is going to make? Well, let's see. What do we? Holy crap! $909,090 in startup costs. I don't know what they were starting out, but that's a lot. Yeah, probably kitchen equipment. Leasehold improvements. That's surprised. Nobody wants to start a restaurant. Huh? That's $1 million. Now you get a restaurant that went out of business and all the stuff's there. Which probably means it's a bad location. But you need to know ahead of time, right? $1 billion. How are we going to pay that back? So Sammy's break-even point. How much do you need to sell break even? Fixed costs divided by 1 minus variable costs. What are your fixed costs that you have to pay every month, whether you're selling everything or not? That's your fixed cost. Variable costs are everything that changes according to your sales. Anybody have an idea what this is? I mean, for your business. You're gonna come up with it. What are you doing here? Oh, teletherapy. So your fixed cost is really your startup costs are people.
Yeah.
Because well, here, so the problem, the issue you face, because I've actually helped set up a telehealth business before, is you have to have people available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Crises don't happen at 2 in the afternoon.
But we're not like we're not dealing with people that have like chronic.
Okay, so you're just
We're not, and we like provide like a suicide hotline. We have many disclosures and stuff, but like we have a very thorough screening process to make sure that no one would be psychoactive.
okay. So
We are a conflict resolution mediating app, or not licensed.
Okay. No, I have no idea. So you can be 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or 8 to 6 or whatever. So you can control your costs. But how many calls do you need to support one person sitting there waiting for calls?
I don't know off the top of my head.
No, but that's you're thinking of it.
Yes.
With the telemedicine thing, I was helping set up, this had to be manned 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's 168 hours, like 7 times, yeah. Yeah, 168 hours a week. So it's over 4 people. And how do you can't work people 7 days a week, you know, it's really complicated. We don't really have a mix of products, I don't think, in this group. Everybody's starting with one, right? No one has a bunch of different things, so we do. What do you have? Well, you're selling multiple things, but you're selling a service of the products, I forget. It's a service of products.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because I assume some of your products have different cost structures than others. Oh, yeah. You're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna buy artichokes for $1. How much are you gonna sell them for? I don't need an answer, but that's the thought process you gotta go through. Oh my God, look at that. Isn't that wonderful? Here's the $1 million question. When it's all said and done, can you make enough money off this to do it? I mean, there are things, people will look at businesses and they'll come across a fatal flaw, we used to call it. Like, oh my God, never thought about this. It will not allow my business to work. This will kill it. How do you get enough profit? How much is a adequate profit? How much are your investors going to want? How much are you going to want out of this thing? What's your end goal? Is it just to create a job for yourself for the next 40 years? Because you're incapable of working for others? Or do you want to become a mini mogul, sell it, and retire to the islands? I don't know. The sun is not my friend, so the islands don't do me any good. Sometimes a business is a great idea, but it just doesn't make enough money. It's good to know that ahead of time. I'm having that argument with somebody right now. I keep telling them, you need to shut this thing down. Oh, no, we can make it work. I said, we just went through the numbers. You have a negative gross profit margin. Volume is not going to help. Shut it down. Sometimes great idea, you just don't work. They're the wrong time. Yes.
Say your content.
Well, it's going to change over time. I would say a really, really profitable small business, you can correct me, 20% net is a heck of a number. So you sell $1 million worth of something, you can take 200,000 out, you're doing really well. Because there's just costs associated, right? Yes. That depends on the product. I mean, most people seem to think gross margin is 50%. Should be able to make money that way. Sales minus cost of goods sold, 100%, 50/50. But it depends how much. The product, you're always having to improve it. So you need more gross margin. Make, they have the sales SG&A to cover it. I love finance, everything depends.
Remember, as you go through my plan, that your financial will give you those two things. Your section. Those are real industry.
Not made up ones. Yes. Finance is all about comparing. You've got to compare yourself to other people in your industry, see if you're doing fine. Because you could, now we'll go back. You got a business, you're doing a million in sales, you're making 200,000 net, you think you're doing great, and you talk to other people in the business, or you go to your banker and say, well, everybody else is making 300,000. What's wrong with you? No, until you can compare with other people. There we go. Back to what I keep saying. Projecting sales is the most difficult task. How are you going to get customers? Everybody wants your customer. You're now competing against everybody basically in the known world. They want the money, they want the same dollar you want. How are you going to get it? How are you going to keep it? What's it going to take to become a customer? Get them to become a customer? Okay. That's a tough one. You know, they talk about customer acquisition costs different for every industry, different. Now, apps, what's it cost to get a customer? It's great. You can get approved by Apple, and then what happens?
On App Store by any.
You go on App Store with the other 1 million apps. How does anybody know you're there? Marketing. You're gonna have to pay for that somehow. Yeah, she charged a lot of money, so where will the money come from? Credit cards? Or borrow it. That's a credit card. Who's going to lend you money? Huh? Angel investors. Angel investors. Well, they want equity. Do they figure you're going to fail anyways? Yeah. The one you're, but hopefully you'll be the 1 out of 4 that actually makes some money. Kiva loan. Yes, you can get a Kiva loan.
0 interest.
0 interest for a few $1,000s. You should look at the city of Long Beach website. They have all sorts of business incentives for businesses in Long Beach. If you live in another city, you're going to form another city, you should look at their website. There's even, I'm going to scribble it, there's even a Jewish lending society. You don't have to be Jewish, and they lend money to startups. But so mixture of equity and debt. In the beginning, you're just going to get equity, which is better. Equity is better in the beginning. It's more costly, but when it fails, you don't owe anybody money. Okay. So the key is don't give up too much equity in the beginning. Once it starts like you're sure it's going to happen, then you start borrowing if you can. Because you don't want to give up the equity once you make break even. Cost associated debt, convertible debt. Yeah. We don't really, in the incubator, we don't look at how they're gonna get their money out. It would. No,
Talk about crowdfunding, dealing with funds.
yeah. But an investor may ask that. How am I gonna get my money out? You're very nice and all, but I wanna make a return on my money and get out. It would be great if everybody went to a initial public offering. A long ways down the road. Sale to a larger firm, yeah. Buy them out. Liquidation, that doesn't sound good. But they might ask, what do you see for the company in the future? You know, with the sunscreen, I can see you selling, you sell out to Coppertone or whoever owns Coppertone or whatever. Right? Big companies love that type of thing because you took all the risks. Your cost structure is a lot smaller than whoever owns Coppertone. If it's Coppertone or PG&E or not PG&E, Procter and Gamble, P&G, PG, whatever. Yeah, you don't have to worry about exit valuations. And needs to higher valuation. Yeah, we're not worried about that. Risks. The only experience, they're going to identify your possible dangers. You see them. You have contingency plans to mitigate them. So you developed this great little niche business for kids and sunscreen. Well, here's how Coppertone will look at it. I am, or we can crush them. You know, so that's one of your business, one of your dangers. We'll sell, you know, we have to sell, or we'll develop such a strong following that people are going to stick with us. It happens all the time, right? There's new products every day. 90% fail, but there's new products every day that make it. One thing I've really found, I know since you're all competing with each other, it's impossible to really do it in this class. But if you can find a group of people that'll sit down and listen to your spiel about your business plan and ask you every question that pops into their head. You write down every question. So you have an answer for every question. I found that very useful and extremely compelling when you're being judged. Because the judges ask you a question, if you have an answer, you've thought about it, even if the answer is, yes, we thought about that, we're looking into it, we haven't come up with it yet, and it's sincere, that's okay. You can't know everything. Let the investors know you understand, prepared to deal with key risks. Oh, so sad. It's over. Want to do it again? You need more to do.
You can watch it on YouTube.
Oh, you can watch it on Zoom later. Yeah. Questions, comments, thoughts? You're all ready, yes.
Investors with startup costs is very serious. Don't have.
Well, the key is to try to find investors that are interested in the field you're going into. So they understand it, they like it. Like, you don't go to a high-tech guy when you got a restaurant idea. They don't understand it, they know they eat there. They're no use to you. You want investors that are actually going to help you. They can give you, that know the industry to a certain extent. They're not there to steal your idea. They're there to invest. So that's, you go to places like Tech Coast Angels and see what they're investing and see what people are doing. Yes.
This is why we had the session with PitchBook. Because in PitchBook, we'll find all of those investors. Their companies, their funds, how much money they have, how much they lent out, what sectors they focus on. So you're seeking an investment. Really need to know. As that first night when Walters put up here, the 55 different pitches, I found the person. That's where you're trying to shortcut that by getting somebody to ask you every question. Finally found the person in that. Just do your research.
It's very intimidating. Really is. But you have to have to a certain extent, you have to have a, hold on. I'm gonna do it. I believe in this. This is worthwhile. If you concentrate on all the bad, you'll never do it. It's really just concentrate on, this is a great thing. The world needs it. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, you're gonna get hit with bad stuff all the time. You just have to ignore it. Yeah. Entrepreneurs are, they're the second most positive thinking people in the world after developers. Real estate developers. Because a real estate developer always believes tomorrow is going to be a better day. Otherwise, why would you start a real estate project that you're not going to sell for a year? Tomorrow is always going to be a better day. Same with the business person. You're going to find a way past everything. This is something the world needs. If you don't believe in it, don't do it. That's why I think almost everybody that's talked, what's the major thing they look at? The team. They know a good group of people can do just about anything. They also know a bad group of people can screw up just about anything. Right? And so that's really what they're looking for. If I give you money, are you going to do with it what you say? Are you going to follow through? Are you not going to turn tail the first time things go bad? Because they're going to go bad. It just doesn't. You have a business for 20 years, something's going to go bad. Employee is going to sue you. Somebody's going to get hurt. You know, I don't know. Just, you know, it happens. Anything, Mr. Rader?
Nah,
Yeah.
I have a couple of questions to ask.
Ask me now.
I know it's like a lot.
Like the law.
Lot.
No one else is asking questions.
Okay, well, in terms of like, we're gonna have various products. So how should I tackle that in terms of what you were explaining?
Of gross margin.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have, let's just say, for example, like we have meats, dairy, veggies, fruits, snacks, and within those categories, there are at least 10 plus products within that. So would you recommend that I go through each individual product and try to find like the gross margin pricing for it?
You killing a bird over there?
Like, how would you recommend I tackle that?
I think in the beginning, you're gonna have to just group them. I mean, you drive yourself nuts. Yeah, big categories. So we're gonna make X% on meat. Make X% on dairy, X% on vegetables.
There's like a couple of websites that I've been able to find. They talk about in terms of country. So I didn't want to get invested in that.
Well, but you're not building a store, are you? You are.
We are.
Yeah, I thought you were delivering. Oh, you're a grocery store. Curbside, you're gonna deliver, oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's the only like problem that we like running into. Because, have so many categories, but within those categories, there's dozens of products, we would just like struggle.
Well. I'll give you my opinion of the grocery business. Okay. No grocery store needs 60,000 lines.
Right.
I know, and you're not going to. What's the 100 most important things you need to carry? No, not in this. You're gonna put a. You're gonna say we're gonna get 20% margin on everything, something, or 10% or whatever. In spite of what grocery stores say that they only have a 3% margin in their line. Because that's their net margin. That's after all their costs. They don't buy a T-bone for $9.70 and sell it for $10. No. They buy it for $8 and sell it for 14. But they always tell you, oh, we only have a 3% margin in the grocery business. That's net. They have a decent gross margin. They got people, they got stores, they got electricity. They couldn't survive on 3% growth. So yeah, you want to understand what your costs are, but you don't want to spend all your time in the minutiae of the costs, especially what you're doing. I think if you can say we're going to get an average of 20% on something product, that's probably good enough to start. It's really, you want to get customers. That's going to be the hardest part.
Like, we were able to narrow it down to 8 categories in terms of like in the grocery store. So would you recommend that I go through like the top 10 products in each category and average it out, or?
Yeah, like meat. I mean,
Yeah, like,
there's got to be a somewhat industry standard profit margin on meat.
so just search up like let's just say beef, for example. I'll find distributors for the meat and find their pricing. Because I've been trying to find grocery stores pricing in general, but they're not really transparent.
No, they're the worst people on earth. Okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to send me an email, and I'm going to put you in touch with my friend Mike Carlisle. Mike was the head accountant for Ralph's ever. He knows everything there is about the grocery stores, pricing, costing, the whole 9 yards. So he's the perfect guy for you.
I think when you get an order from Cisco, they'll give you an invoice that will have wholesale price and an MSRP. It will give suggested retail price. So you won't necessarily start from scratch. But you'll have a huge SKU list of what you ordered, which you need. There will be a starting.
More questions? And I short circuited all by telling you, put you on to somebody else.
I'm sure they'll keep coming up.
Okay.
A lot.
Mike's a good guy. He'll help you out. Yes.
So open the video. Check it. Then it's-
The Zooms are where? The clouds.
All right, hopefully you guys know this website. There is this little button here called programs. Fossil incubator. And every recording. right there. Right? So if you want to know about pricing, click on that. Ignore that. And there's the recording of Joy. And
The stuff that what they charge for, you know.
there it is. And I think Ingrid sent you a link to this site. So it's all there. And if you missed something exciting last semester, you go down here to all. You'll see recorded session. Right? I think we didn't. We did record Walter. All right.
Okay, so next week. We're just gonna go, we're gonna work with each group on their numbers. Hopefully you'll start putting numbers in the magic box. We can look at them and say, okay. We look at them with a clean eye to say. What doesn't make sense to us, or ask how you came up with it. Because you create them, they're perfect, it's your baby. Okay? Somebody's got to look at your baby and go, your baby's got 3 eyes. So, how do we fix this? So that's, I want to giving you a bunch of thoughts about how to come up with numbers. Now we're going to put them into something. Because you're going to see real quick what makes sense. All of a sudden, it's like, well, wait a minute, we're losing money every year for the next 100 years. Okay, what do we need to tweak?
For those of you not in MO, we'll be here to work with you.
We'll work with you. Everybody is here.
That will definitely help you look through the financials on live.
One question too, for the startup costs, like let's say our startup cost, like of course, we're not gonna do the fund out, so, and the incubator or like who then, they don't have enough funds to cover that. Or we include like our loans or.
Well, it's yeah, you can just say, we're going to go out and get equity for the balance. Or honestly, loans, I think, are always iffy because they're going to say, who's going to lend the money? Yeah. I don't know you, I don't know your finances, but somebody going to lend you $200,000? That's hard. Even for me to get a $200,000 just personal loan. Very hard. So it's very easy to say we're going to raise $200,000 and we're going to give up this much equity. That's the plan.
The competition isn't expecting you to have the incidents. So essentially, you're saying, here's my best guess as to what it would take to start. And that's sufficient. All right. And we don't know what your family can kick in. Dealing with people, things break up all the time. One partner's family may have put in all the investment, and then so all of that is down the road. You put together a good product, a good plan. You're realistic about the amount of money it will take to start it. Then the judges are going to say they know what they're doing.
And realistic doesn't mean a small amount. It just means the right amount. Now, the restaurant was $909,080. Okay, you don't probably need the 90 in there, but what's it going to take? What's the honest number? That's what people care about.
You showed up and said, I'm going to start a restaurant. Then that's not
Not gonna work. You looking for glasses?
good.
But I was looking for a power cord like everybody else sees, you know. Justin, Matthew, any questions? You're good? Okay. Anybody else? As much excitement as you can stand? Till tomorrow at 1 o'clock?
If you have questions on anything to this point, you're not able to access live plan, you're not able to invite teammates to the. Please get that taken care of now. With here. And then these emails from Anthony, but. It's great. This is exciting. So.
I was actually thinking about adding one more period, but so for our TAM, we can just there on.
Separate.
Based on just. Is it still getting to the TAM so wide? Because the second year, like.
I'm gonna try to finance drug. Yeah, yeah, but it's very confused on like how this look like balance sheets or that. Because I was able to find space.
What else?
To the other grocery store, did the same.
Hey, the best part is like. Okay.
Yeah, that's.
Excellent.
But.
I have to ask questions. You know, show me the Japan movie. That's like Japanese.
No, I'm sorry. Sorry. Liars.
Big.
That's it. Yeah.
And my CEO is saying.
Yeah.
It's gonna be.
It should. This. You think I was able to today?
We didn't look at our problems. Easier to get like that.
Exactly.
We know like over.
Functional.
It's gonna put this week.
Yeah.
And it's super affordable. Actually, $70.
Yeah, but you want to get them on line down.
There. So that means $70. It's just-
Yeah.
That's why.
All right. You want to make
Charge a higher rate. It also.
And again, so.
your question.
Anybody looks at it.
Stop.
but in commercial. You really want it here, or like sort of like air type of- very good.
I would put an excellent, yeah.
Up there, right? Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate the help. So much. Thank you. Have a good one.
The idea is somebody's.
No, but.
Just 5 people. If you do, right?
Make sure that it's really shows.
I mean, that you will get that.
No lie.
Yeah.
Also, I like.
Some of the record.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, shadow. Real.
And did you see? All that, yeah, she hits it right on.
I still like.
That's a good point. Should. By the way, speaking, we had our NBA fight.
Yeah. Then we're gonna find time for a 30.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's be done. First, like, how we differentiate, explain how we have, virtually no costs. We're offering some more from us.
Gonna do an action.
And that's.
Because I really.
Yes.
And yeah, this is just. Yeah, want to make sure you have relate.
Yeah.
We say I don't.
I've been saying. No, sure.
A lot of people. I have, pick up 3-year-old. You'll let them down on the first day. It's the same thing.
Right, folks, some other areas.
It's. They-
Portable.
Well, let's finish here and then.